the latest
Hmm.
does not work.
Can we access this information online?
Not yet. Because, like I said, it's only a draft, and now after this, I'll tell them, hey, can you quickly do something for me? So, yeah.
And then open the comments if you can get online.
Yeah, I'll put it on Facebook probably, but it's a 5-page PDF that they sent me though, so I don't know. I think I'll just have to screenshot each individual page, I think, and put it up, but I can do that anyway. So, yeah,
But
but
it's really important if you can to come to that meeting in October, because you can.
Oh.
You've got more time if you're actually in the park and you can see the areas it's talking about. It's a lot easier than trying to look at a picture.
so I guess I can try and put it up a few days before the meeting, at least, so people have got a bit of a heads up and they can go, hey, blah blah blah, and look at it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what else? That's about it.
So how many barbecue areas were you talking?
Does it say?
Number one. One next to
Two.
toilets. 1, 2, 3.
Because there's too many. There's a section view, so there's a top view.
3 it's got on here, I think. Well, 3. They look like the double barbecue, so look. It looks like there's 2 in each.
Those new picnic shelters, accessible picnic settings and barbecues, 5. So that's 1. Yeah, so just be.
They look like that, yeah, so that each one of them are double, and then there's one next to the toilets. Which seems funny place to have it, but yeah.
Yeah, although it is 20 or so meters away from the toilets anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so there's 3 new shelters
So
with
there's 2, 1, 2,
a single or a double
That's a
barbecue and a
single.
picnic table. So
Yeah.
there's 3. So that right now we've only got 1, isn't it? I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah, just the one.
Is
Yeah.
the covers over the bar?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. In the shelter and in the picnic.
And
settings.
picnic, more
Yeah.
shelters, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So so that's it anyway. So I'll ask them to alter it a little bit based on our conversation now, and then in 5 weeks the meeting will be in the park, and then we can talk about it a bit more. And I'll try and have A3 size. This was printed at home. I don't have A3 paper at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so has anyone else got anything else they'd like to add? Or?
Tim, what's the down on people having prime movers on the land?
On the land.
On
the block.
On the block.
Yeah, they're right to have it on their block, but not on the
No,
council land.
They don't have to get special,
No,
I was going to say dispensation for the.
no.
Tim,
Yeah.
just a real general question for you. As a driver around here, I find these trail mounted commercial signs with the ultra bright lighting a real distraction. I don't mind them with the legitimate road signs that saying, caution, beware and all that. But if it's advertising a white goods sale, it's a needless distraction.
Oh,
for people.
cookies for sale.
Sorry.
One of them signs was advertising cookies for sale. Cookies.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah. That's it.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
feed right, yeah, that's right.
Actually signed, yeah.
Because because it tells you the first part of it, then the second part of it. So
I'll ask
you're
about
going
that.
slow to try and read what the number is.
I would think that they're probably legal, but it depends where they are. But-
Some jobs are just as you turn out for a sale drive.
They're a distraction,
Mm.
and I'm sure they're going to force extra cars.
Yeah, so you can, like, you have them when you come out to roadworks and that, but this is advertising. And it's saying, contact me if you want to pay for an advertisement. And
Well,
it's sat there.
I'll tell you a little story. During my election, one of my colleagues, he put, so, hey, did anyone complain to Leanne's office, or there are a number of them anyway. He actually had them in many places, and that was legal, but political advertising is different though. That's the issue. But yeah, I do see them in lots of places though. So council uses them to advertise eats and beats. There was one at Bear and Bar. But
This is quite a big one, and it's, and now the new sign up there is now, if you want to advertise on this space, get in touch with me on this number. It's $250 something to put the advert on, and it's like this, it's right next to the road.
Yeah, some of that put me in a very prominent place.
Yeah.
It's dangerous enough just driving around anyway,
Yeah.
without people staring at these signs and backing over.
Mm.
Because there's always lots of accidents on Johnson Road as it is.
Yeah, no, all right, I'll ask about that, but it probably is still kosher, but maybe not, depending on
Okay.
a few things. So one more thing too.
Yep.
Someone asked about speed platforms.
Yeah.
So,
That was me.
so what the process is, if you believe someone is speeding on your street, I asked my traffic engineer to do a speed count. So stick those rubber tube things in the box on the side of the road for a weekish. Generally not within school holidays and that, so it's fair representation of what you usually expect most of the time. And then they do their analysis with the thing, and as long as, what is it, I think it's the median speed, if it's a 50 zone, if it's 10k over the median, which means the majority of people do an average speed 10k over the speed limit, which they probably don't, but you never know. Yeah, it's hard to say that unless you sit there with a speed gun for an hour or so and take a fairly big sample. It is hard to say, but if it is that way, then they might say yes, there's a speeding problem. But then you got your issue of if the road's on a slope, no, speed platforms aren't good because that'll, it's not. It doesn't matter.
Not even the ones with the big bumps. I mean, you can get the ones that
Yeah, they're flat and they got the ramps on it, but yeah, they're not good for yeah, but if you've got a big slope, it doesn't work. You don't have curb channeling either in some places, so unless you got that, then they can just drive around it anyway, which is even worse sometimes. So, what was the name of the street?
They'd have to slow down.
Sheriff.
It's like Forestdale Drive.
Yeah, and keep in mind too that is that the only way in and out?
Yes.
Yes,
okay. Yeah, because
Probably my nephew, he lived there.
yeah, because I'll use an example. So if you know Browns Plains or Browns Plains Road, everything north of Green Plaza, there's a whole series of streets heading in a north-south direction. If I was to put speed platforms on the one closest to the Mount Lindsay Highway, people rat run, they go up the top there near Brisbane more or less and come down these side streets so they avoid the traffic lights. It's a 50 zone, but they still do 60, 70, 80 apparently. But if I was to do one street, the issue will shunt on to the next one. I'll put them up that street, they'll keep going on and on and on and on until I spend over $1 million on $10,000 each platforms. And then they'll just do speed and be naughty somewhere else. So it's a bit of a tough one, but yeah, I'll ask for a speed count on that. But if it doesn't show people are speeding, I have asked if we can put, say, what they call islands and stuff in the middle of roads, because sometimes when there's no
they're more dangerous.
Oh, yeah. No, but the thing is that if you've got, say, a wide street and then you have cars parked by the side and there's still enough room just for two cars to go through, people are less likely to speed because they feel cramped and they're taking their time and being careful. But if it's a wide open street, they go, oh, it must be a 70 zone, it just feels like it, but it's not, it's a 50 zone still.
And these are mainly people that live in Forestdale and they know the speed limit.
Yeah.
These are new people in down the bottom of, and they've got souped up cars and.
Yeah. But otherwise,
Slow down, you idiot.
but otherwise there is so Forestdale Drive and Paradise Road are 60 zones, unfortunately. I don't like doing 60 myself, but a lot of people do, and it is the speed limit though. You
Why
can't,
is it not 50 there?
Because it's too
but, it's a main road, that's the thing, and it is.
Also, is it along there? What's it called? I always say it wrong. I always say Better Glass. Who's street stuff?
Which one?
The one by the traffic lights at the top. What was it called?
Harold Street.
Oh, Peveril, yeah. But that's a different type of like properties there. So that's residential, so small blocks. This is rural residential, so you've got a house every 50 or so meters. Yeah, because there's less people, and it's just part of the Australian standard, it sounds like. And I have asked if we could. Oh, we have to wrap up.
So we've got to wrap this part of the
it is.
meeting up.
Oh, geez,
Yeah, we're going to have to wrap this part of the meeting up now.
Okay.
So I'm going to call the meeting as closed, and the committee here is standing down. Tim is going to take over and start the AGM, and it shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes.
Thanks for that, Tim.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I said, but I'll ask and see. We talked
Usually we
about
do,
this
but
again.
you try and move that.
Yeah, okay.
We
So,
would usually move from the desk, but we're gonna stay here.
okay, so,
So we've stepped down, so you now open the AGM.
okay, so I declare the AGM opened at 7:51. Yeah, 7:53.
Yeah, I know you have to do is read the nominate. There's only been 4 nominations. So there's no arguments, they should be straightforward. Right,
Okay,
so
so,
Tim will just read out who the nominations are, we'll get you to pass it if there's any questions you've got for any of us. Now's the time to say, and then we'll be passed in, and then that's the start of it. That's about it, that's all that there is to do.
okay, so I'll read out the position, the name, and I can assure you that these people's arms have not been twisted. They've actually written here that they agree to the nomination and they've signed it, so.
My arm was twisted,
Yeah.
it still is.
So here we go. So the first one is the treasurer and Grace Zanchetta.
It's twisted.
Yeah. So area coordinator, Lynn Whittingham. Assistant area coordinator, Connor Graham. And secretary, Bradley Watson.
And this is Brad.
Yay.
Okay, so I will make by the house, I will make by the house unless it's. We'll make by the house unless it's on the street. Brad, do you want to say anything about, I don't know what you want to tell people. Do you want to say anything about your work? Do you want to say anything about your work or not, or what?
Oh, I would have met a few of you. I used to work for Leanne Enoch, the state member. I don't know if you know.
Oh, I know you.
But I have met a few of you before.
Yes.
I don't work there
I
anymore.
know.
But we recently just moved in because we found this area while at work and absolutely loved it. Yeah, so Lynn found this house.
Right next door.
That was it.
Right
Right
next
next
door.
door. So
Yeah.
yeah, my
I can actually vouch for this guy, by the way, because he's very, very capable.
He is very capable, he's very willing, and he has always, and he's not had to, he's gone above and beyond, and he's turned up to every neighbourhood watch event,
He's
and
desperate.
he's steady.
It works.
And he's always helped set up, he's always helped pack up,
That's
and both him and his partner both have done it. And it's
Okay.
been a great help, so he's gonna be a great asset, he knows how to apply for grants and get money out of members. A little bit more than I do, so it will be a really good asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 4 positions have now.
So the
been
4
filled.
positions have now been filled, is everybody fine with that?
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
just changed to area coordinator because I can't do both jobs.
No.
So Grace is staying on the committee, so she's going to do treasurer. And when Grace is away or anything, I'll just do the treasury because she goes gallivanting a little bit. Connor is still going to be assistant area, he does all the work with the advertisements and the newsletters and anything like that.
Still do the newsletters.
Yes, yeah, so he'll still do newsletters, he'll still do the advertising leaflets that we need for events, because I can't do any of that. He still works out how to do the links, he has to come show me how to copy the link, but that kind of thing, but now, as I say, we've got Brad on board who knows most of it as well. So I'll make it, so he'll be the secretary. So that should be, it'll just spread out the workload a little bit,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah,
So
so.
we have to officially vote that.
So I don't have to vote, we just have to, because no one else.
Yeah.
has. So there's no one going against it.
Are there any objections to
Yeah,
these
is there
nominations?
any objections? No, and because nobody's going against us, we don't have to do a vote.
Okay, so
So everyone happy?
declare everyone appointed.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Okay, thanks for that, Tim. Okay. Over there, yeah. Okay, so what happens now is we have got paperwork to fill in from the Department of Fair Trading. When the Department of Fair Trading receive this paperwork, it could be a couple of weeks, we can then go to the bank and work out signatories on the account. and that virtually is it. One thing that we are going to try and do is, because when we do the audit report, we keep getting a memo from them that something needs changing on our audit reports. They're always correct. But at the present time, if we have to pay for anything, we've got to pay it on our credit card, because shops they will not accept checks anymore. So we keep getting told by the auditors that you should be paying everything direct to the person by check and not paying it back to ourselves. So when we go to that, we're going to see if there's any other way around it. I don't know what we can do. Because with our account, you need 2 signatures on a check so that one person can't, if you have a credit card, you can't do that.
That's right.
So we don't know the way around it. We can just keep ignoring, because that's yes.
Lynn, I'm the actual president of the Algae Estate Men's Shed, who he knows quite well. And we had the same problem.
Yeah.
And it was dead easy. We just went to the bank, and because we're not a non-for-profit like this, we got like the president and the vice president and the treasurer got cards off the bank, whereas we buy goods from wherever, instead of doing what you just
but
said.
I'll have to check with the police that we're allowed to do it. We come under the police umbrella.
Oh,
Yeah, we could do it. Neighbourhood watch us under the police umbrella. This is what makes us different to
okay.
school and things like this, What we're going to try and do to make things a little bit easier, we're going to, once the Department of Fair Trading have let the bank know who the people are, we're going to try and do it so we can at least pay direct deposits through the bank. We can't even do a direct deposit at the moment. So there is ways we can change it. So that will help when we come to pay post office boxes and deposits for things for Christmas, like the pony rides and things like that. We can pay all that by direct deposit. There is a way the bank can do that. I've then got to find out if there's any other way we can do our payments, because shops will not pay checks. So that's the only problem. What we're going to try and do at the Christmas fete, so because people don't always have cash, we're getting the little swipers. I don't know. Square. So that when people want to come and pay for the bands for the rides and things like this, they can actually pay by credit card by just tapping it, and that money will go straight into our bank account. So there's no fraud, there's no people running about the things that they shouldn't be running about. We've just got to try and sort out this payment by check. At this time, I just don't know the answer to it at the moment. But that was the only thing the auditors report pulled up, and it pulls that up every single year. So, because they still take checks, you see, so we're fine. So the auditors reports are there if anyone wants to look at any. Otherwise, that's it. You'll be seeing more things on Facebook now about Christmas. Now the AGM's over, and we're making ourselves known. Okay, thank you for coming.
There's
And there is
pens and
there's
stuff.
pens and
Rainfall, although you had to
schools.
apply probably
Please stay
today.
and have a drink. There's orange juice, water, soft drink. There's a nice
Special book with photos. and
platter.
things.
The platters were done by Adam's Meats, by the way.
Thank you, Santa Claus.
And you put that in my
Yeah, and then a photographer